There was a lot of media coverage about a comment that Donald Trump made at one of his evening rallies where he talked about Hillary Clinton and gun control. And in fact, Trump has made this point before. And the way he put it revived as a storyline for the media the fact that some weeks earlier he had talked about, well, if Hillary Clinton becomes president, she couldn't be stopped in terms of her gun control agenda. Maybe the Second Amendment people could do something. And then Trump said he was talking about activism during the campaign, not as it sounded like what might happen if there were a President Hillary Clinton. So the latest round was Trump talking about, well, Hillary Clinton's got all the security. She wants to take your guns away. She doesn't have to worry about that. Why don't we just disarm her bodyguards? Let's see what happens. A lot of people thought that that was a way of raising the possibility of some kind of violent attack on candidate Clinton. So naturally, we talked about this on Media Buzz. I'll come back to that in a second. Got an email from Ed M. in Tennessee. And Ed says, instead of commenting about Mr. Trump's statement about disarming Clinton's bodyguards, why didn't you see the obvious reason he made the comment? Clinton wants to keep guns for her protection, but don't anybody else to protect themselves. Kind of destroys my perception of the news media's insightfulness and intellect. Well, Ed, I hope this will restore your faith, at least partial faith in the media, but I brought up that very point on the show. I said this is a common argument made by, or talking point used by, gun rights activists who say that people, public figures, politicians who have protection often are insulated from the consequences of their policy on gun rights, and it would be very different if they did not have that kind of protection. It doesn't mean that I'm defending what Trump says, but I did make this point. This is a common argument used by gun rights activists. Now, at the same time, when Donald Trump says Hillary Clinton wants to abolish the Second Amendment or take away all your guns, that doesn't match what she's proposed. She certainly has proposed stricter background checks and perhaps stopping sales at unregulated gun shows and all of that. She has vociferously denied that she would take away the gun-owning rights of law-abiding Americans, people who are not on a no-fly list, don't have any history of mental illness, don't have any, where law enforcement has not raised any concerns about terrorism. But when you say you've lost faith in the media for not bringing up this point, I think it's fair for me to point out that I did bring up the point on the show in real time that this is a common argument that Trump has made before, by the way, and maybe the media made too much of it, but a common argument made by gun rights activists to try to drive home the point about the people who advocate for some kind of gun control measures.